what's going on there appears to be the construction of a new off-road driveway, which is interesting that it was passed, as this area is actually a conservation area. So that wall there is hundreds of years old. So the fact that they're able to get that through and build a new driveway is quite interesting, really. Oddly enough, I actually delivered a takeaway to a man who I used to do gardening for, who knows the owner of that property, and he said he's got a cunning plan for it. And that he owns too many vehicles, so he wants to build a driveway. As you saw in my video from yesterday, I actually ended up in the pub watching the Moses Itauma fight. Moses Itauma was a young British boxer who's hotly tipped to be the next big thing, and he won quite convincingly in round 5. Well, convincingly by knockout. I'm writing a song for every follower. Isabella Grace, you came to the right place to get a song sang for you. Isabella Grace, you came to the right place to get a song sang just for you. Isabella Grace. You right?
Hiya.
What's quite interesting is that my phone seems to have geolocated me in that pub last night, and when I went on my Facebook page this morning, my private page as myself, I was being suggested to become friends with people that were in the pub last night, and I was being shown some of their stories from last night. And what I was quite shocked to see is there are lots of young men, like pre-30s, like mid-20s, early 20s, with nice brown skin, bright white teeth, but they're spouting stuff about loving Jesus Christ and calling women bitches and talking about woke people. As in, like people who meditate or go on. For example, one guy said, he was drunk, talking about Jesus Christ, and he said, oh, don't you hate it when you go on holiday and you just want to be banging bitches, and what you see is a group of friends saying they're going to meditate. I don't want to be friends with those kind of people. And this kind of hate speech, which rattles around in these people's heads and then spews out when they're drunk in a way that's quite worrying, really, because we saw violence last night. We didn't actually capture it, but I stopped there because I get a bit embarrassed when I'm talking around someone. Where was I? This kind of like nonsense that rattles around these people's heads, probably just fleeting in the week, and just kind of, it's like compounding until it comes out as real frustration and a target for their drunken rage, really, hatred. So supposedly that chap, Charlie, I think, assaulted someone who was trans last night in the pub. I don't know what happened, but that's just absolutely vile. And I think there's lots of young men who feel and experience the world in this way, and they're kind of blaming kind of already vulnerable groups for perhaps them not getting what they want or what they feel like they deserve, and what they feel that they deserve and are entitled to is what they see on Instagram, I suppose, of people living lavish lifestyles and living their best life, etc. So I think influencers have a lot to answer for, making things look easy and anyone can do it. It just breeds resentment. As ever, all these thoughts are just kind of coming out the top of my head. They're not really fully formed, and I reserve the right to change them at any time. We're at 673 steps. It's quite not windy, but it's a bit windy out here, so I won't do much talking to the camera. I'll just do a few clips and I'll get some clips in. I'm writing a song for every follower. KCP123, thank you for following me. What could I ever do to repay you for your love? KCP123, thank you for following me. What could I ever do to repay you for your love? KCP123, thank you for following me. KCP123, what could I ever do to repay you? What could I ever do to repay you? And it worries me a bit because the further these young men go down this rabbit hole, the less compatible they're going to become with wider society, and the more disillusioned and isolated they will become, which essentially becomes extremism, really. The fact that that guy Charlie last night assaulted someone essentially because they were transgender, that's extremism. That guy Charlie is vulnerable. He's abusing alcohol, drugs, I think, and he's got some worldviews which aren't compatible with the rest of the society that he's involved in. So that's someone who's becoming extreme. I bet on their day-to-day life they don't act like that, but under the influence of drugs and alcohol and with this manosphere kind of shit bumping around in his head, it's dangerous. 1,760 steps. Horsley Cross, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah. They don't like spending money very much at Edmonds.
No. What way should we go? That way.
I'll go right, I do.
Yeah. It's the activity of it, isn't it?
Yeah. You see somebody, have a chat.
Mistley and Ramsey lost 3-0 to Halesworth, but it was a thoroughly entertaining game and neither team was necessarily better, although obviously one did win. But I'm not going to say they got lucky, but they scored 3 goals, so obviously they were better. But what am I trying to say? It was fun to watch, and I'm going to aim to go to the next Mistley and Ramsey women's game in 2 weeks' time. It's a lot nicer than the men's football, from what I remember. Men like shout and scream and get aggressive and swear and smoke and that kind of thing. And the women's was a lot more fair-spirited or kinder, I suppose. So yeah, well done Mistley and Ramsey, or Ramsey Mistley. And wow, just being on the sideline, moving up and down, jogging on the spot to keep warm, I'm at 8,000 steps, so yeah. like I've actually hit 10,018 steps from just walking to the local football match and jogging up and down the spot to keep warm, and then walking back. I say jogging, like kind of just moving around really. So that's probably the easiest 10,000 I've ever done. I've been talking to Jehovah's Witnesses, and it was it was lovely. Don't want to be one, obviously, but well, not obviously, but I don't believe in anything like that. But it was lovely. I'm writing a song for every follower. Charlie, Charlie.